Everyone has a different way of measuring this, and every city is different, right? An A-class neighborhood in San Francisco is $3 million, right? A-class neighborhood in the Springs might be 500, 600, 700, as an example. So A means different in different things, but what I look at it, really the way that I judge it is based on the tenant types. Who are the people renting from me? A neighborhood, they're your doctors, they're your lawyers, they're your professionals, people making good money. Okay? And again, good money is relative, because $100,000 in the Springs might be good money, but $100,000 in New York is not. So, right? Again, this is principles. You need to investigate it. But people like on Bigger Pockets, they love talking about this stuff, right? And there's a lot of fights and so on. But here's the thing, right? Here's what I focus on, B and C, and I predominantly like C. I bought a bucket load of properties in D, which I don't own anymore. Ask me why. F we drove through, but I don't think I ever... Now, you know what? Let's be honest. The first house I bought, and I'll show you a picture of it, I bought in an F. It was in a war zone. And that was exciting. I had the guy's dad chase us once. I thought I was going to get shot that day. I don't think I told you. That was fun. C is a good balance. Again, my opinion, right? Some people will be like, I only buy A. Okay. I only buy B, whatever. You can make all of these work. Here's what I'll say. If you buy in these areas and you're not in town, you're going to lose a lot of money. Just how it is. I'm not going to explain why because I don't have time. Just believe me. If you believe me so far, believe me on this. You need a good realtor for that still, but you can do it from out of town. Those two you can do from out of town most of the time. It's not as hard, right? The reason why I like C is because it actually plays to a bunch of different, it plays to these people that are maybe struggling or going down or starting out. It plays to these people moving up, right? Remember we talked about what you can control versus what you can't control? This is kind of rental returns. Again, you can disagree with me, ask Mike, he'll tell you the truth. But this is kind of where I see returns in these areas. And this is just rental returns. It can be different. Every area is different. I'm just ballpark, okay? A, sometimes you're just basically looking for capital growth. You're not really going to get any sort of real income, okay? So Australia is like that, in many areas. That's where you're going to lose some money. It might be 10%, it might be less, It could be more if you have a bad tenant. But typically, you don't lose that much because white-collar tenants that are good, decent people, they're not really going to mess up your place. They've got credit to ruin, they're just, generally speaking, not that hard on a house, right? These people, good luck, right? It's just this how it is. So I like playing in this space because, and that's what we typically average. Again, it depends, right? Depends. But this is what I see as long-term average. When people say to you, it rents for $1,000 a month. Yeah, but what's in my pocket at the end of that month? No one wants to talk about that because those numbers don't look as good, right? I can tell you, I did this exercise the other day because I'm a nerd. Over our whole portfolio, right, of all of our properties, we averaged a gross of 15.2% rental income for the last 12 months. Those are real numbers, like real numbers. Out of that, we probably would have netted somewhere between 7 and 8%. Some people have netted 10, some people might have netted 6, right? But I'm just saying, overall, we netted about 7 or 8%, which is pretty good overall. It's a good net to have. If you're in the Springs and you buy just the average house, you pay your $300,000, and you rent it out for, I don't know, $1,800 a month or something like that, whatever it might be, you can rent it out for $1,800 a month, and I don't know what that return works out to. You can multiply 1,800 by 12 and then divide that number by the 300. But you might end up with 6 or 7 or 8% as a gross. Your net might be 4, 5, 6. And you've bought one house. And so if that house doesn't work out, that's your whole investment. And some people don't have that sort of money. Doesn't mean it's not a good buy. It could be for you. Remember, it depends. So, does that make sense in terms of the neighborhoods? Everyone will rate these differently. So based on how you rate them, you can choose whatever you want, but I would just say get convergence. Because some people say, this is not a C-class area, it's a D-class area. Other people are like, no, it's fine, I live there, it's good, I walk there at night. I only carry my revolver, not my shotgun. And they feel comfortable. We used to rank them in terms of stabbings. Like, is this a 5-knife area, a 4-knife area?